GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Here are our top stories.
Montreal police chief condemned social media attacks on a female officer linked to the June 22 shooting in Côte-des-Neiges, highlighting concerns over officer safety and public scrutiny. Simon Fortier has the full story.
The June 22 shooting in Côte-des-Neiges in 2026 left a female officer under intense online fire. Police Chief Fady Dagger of the Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal publicly condemned the wave of harassment targeting her on social media, calling it unacceptable and harmful to morale. He said the officer was simply performing her duties after the gunfire erupted near a community center, where stage managers were coordinating the crowd. The chief emphasized that criticism should be directed at actions, not personal attacks, and urged the public to respect the safety of officers on the ground. The investigation continues, with officers and witnesses still being interviewed. Simon Fortier, GMNA News, Côte-des-Neiges.
Police officials confirmed that the Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal deployed a flock surveillance camera as part of an active investigation, then dismantled the unit within hours after the story broke. The camera, a compact, network-connected device, had been positioned on a street corner near the historic district, close to City Hall, earlier this morning. SBVM officers retrieved the equipment shortly after media reports highlighted its presence, citing procedural considerations. No evidence was released indicating the footage contributed to the inquiry, and authorities declined to comment on the specific case. The rapid removal underscores the department's response to public scrutiny over the use of advanced monitoring technology. A department spokesperson said the removal was completed before any further data collection could occur, and officials reiterated that the deployment was lawful and limited to the scope of the ongoing investigation.
Officials announced today a new transit hub slated for the West Island, designed to link public transportation directly with Trudeau International Airport. The project will sit near the airport's western approaches, creating a central point where commuter trains, bus routes, and the upcoming REM extension converge. Planners say the hub aims to cut travel times for passengers heading to the airport, which currently relies on a shuttle service from the nearest metro station. Construction is expected to begin within the next few years, with the goal of delivering a seamless connection before the next major travel season. The proposal follows years of commuter complaints about the lack of a direct link, and municipal leaders hope the addition will ease congestion on the main highways leading to the airport. Funding discussions are underway between the city, the province, and federal transit authorities.
Tourisme Montreal projects 12.5 million visitors in 2026, surpassing the pre-pandemic record of over 11 million in 2019. Simon Fortier has the full story.
Tourism officials in Montreal say the city is on track to welcome 12.5 million visitors in 2026, a new high that eclipses the 11 million recorded before the pandemic in 2019. The projection comes from Tourisme Montreal, which has been monitoring visitor trends since the pre-COVID peak. Officials point to a rebound in international arrivals and a robust events calendar as key drivers. They expect hotels, restaurants, and cultural venues to feel the lift as the summer season approaches. The agency says the forecast reflects steady growth in both leisure and business travel, positioning the city for its highest visitor count since the pre-pandemic era. Simon Fortier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Over 700 tons of sand are being dumped onto the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on Isle Notre Dame as crews race to turn the Formula One track into a temporary beach volleyball arena. The massive sand haul, delivered by trucks early this morning, is part of the preparations for the upcoming Montreal Beach Volleyball Tournament, which will use the venue later this summer. Officials say the transformation will create multiple courts surrounded by the park's green space, offering spectators a seaside feel without leaving the island. Work is expected to continue through the week, with final layout adjustments slated for completion before the first matches begin. The project highlights the versatility of Parc Jean-Drapeau, which routinely hosts large-scale sporting events. More than 200 trucks are scheduled to shuttle the sand across the bridge, and organizers anticipate thousands of fans will gather once the courts are ready.
Later we'll hear how Quebec unions demand action on teacher vacancies as the school year approaches. After the break, we will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Negotiations between the Quebec government and the Newfoundland and Labrador government are now in the final stages of a new agreement over the Churchill Falls hydroelectric complex. Officials said the talks, which have been ongoing for years, are close to completion and could resolve the long-standing contract disputes that have hampered power sales between the two provinces. The original 1974 deal gave Newfoundland and Labrador a fixed price for electricity that Quebec has long argued is outdated. Under the prospective settlement, both sides anticipate a revised pricing structure and a framework for future joint investments in the facility's transmission network. Ministers from each province confirmed that a final document is being drafted and that signatures could be exchanged within weeks, pending legislative approval. If concluded, the pact would mark a major shift in inter-provincial energy relations and could free up additional capacity for export.
Quebec unions demand immediate action on more than 3,132 teacher vacancies as the new school year looms, warning that funding cuts and aging facilities threaten education. Anton Prévost has the full story.
With the new school year looming, unions across Quebec are pressing the Education Ministry for immediate action on more than 3,000 vacant teaching posts. They point to 3,134 open positions as a crisis fueled by recent funding cuts and crumbling school buildings. Teachers and parents gathered at several board meetings this week, demanding a rapid hiring plan and repairs to aging facilities before classes resume. Union leaders warned that without swift measures, classroom sizes will swell and learning outcomes will suffer. The ministry has pledged to review its budget but has not yet offered a concrete timetable. As the provincial election approaches, the pressure mounts for a clear solution. Anton Prévost, GMNA News, Montreal.
Quebec announced a sweeping increase in penalties under the Environmental Quality Act, raising fines up to 10 times their previous maximum. The province's Environment Ministry said the change, which takes effect immediately, is intended to deter illegal dumping, unauthorized emissions, and other breaches that threaten water, air, and soil health. Industry groups and municipalities will now face substantially larger monetary consequences for non-compliance, with the new schedule applying to all offenses recorded after today. Officials emphasize that stronger enforcement is essential to protect the province's natural resources and to meet climate targets. The revised penalties replace the former tiered system, which many critics argued was too lenient. Critics of the move warn that smaller businesses could struggle with the heightened financial risk, while environmental advocates hail the measure as a necessary step toward more responsible stewardship.
The Parti Québécois announced today it will introduce a universal public transport pass priced at $95 for the entire province of Quebec. The proposal, part of the party's transportation platform, promises a single fare usable on all regional transit, including metro, bus, commuter rail, and the REM system. Party officials said the flat-rate pass aims to simplify travel and boost ridership, with costs covered by provincial subsidies and fare adjustments. No rollout date was provided, but the party said implementation will follow legislative approval. If adopted, the pass would replace the current zone-based tickets across the STM network and EXO commuter lines. Party leaders contend the fee will be offset by higher ridership and the resulting tax revenue. The party did not specify whether the $95 would apply to a monthly or annual subscription, and said the measure will be debated in the National Assembly.
A rare celestial display will illuminate the Quebec sky on August 12, offering the public a chance to observe an uncommon astronomical event as part of the province's occasional skywatch opportunities. Antine Prévost has the full story.
The night sky over Quebec burst into an unusual glow on August 12th, as a rare celestial display painted the horizon with shimmering bands of light. Residents gathered on rooftops and in parks, eyes turned upward as the phenomenon unfolded, its colors shifting from deep violet to bright emerald. Astronomers confirmed that the event, visible to the naked eye across the province, was one of the few such occurrences in recent memory. Social media feeds filled with videos of the spectacle, while local schools used the moment to spark interest in astronomy. The clear, crisp air of the early evening allowed the display to linger, giving communities a shared moment of wonder. Antine Prévost, GMNA News, Quebec.
Now let's get a quick look at tonight's forecast with our meteorologist.
A weakening ridge and a brisk westerly jet are setting the stage for an unsettled night across Montreal. On this date, the city once sweltered to 34.6 degrees Celsius in 2025, a peak that rode the tail of a multi-day heat wave that pushed daily highs into the mid-30s across southern Quebec. Conversely, the coldest reading fell to 14.2 degrees Celsius in 2023, recorded during an early autumn Arctic blast that knocked temperatures 15 degrees below normal. By contrast, the climatological average for today sits around 26 degrees high and 16 degrees low, a modest swing from the extremes. The live radar screen is blank across the province, no rain bands or snow in sight. A shallow ridge of high pressure sits over the Great Lakes, while the jet stream slices the atmosphere at 144 kilometers per hour from the west, reinforcing subsidence. With the air mass drying, any lingering moisture is being scoured away. That stability will hold through the night, allowing the clear sky to persist until next system arrives tomorrow. At 11 p.m., the city sits under a mostly clear sky with the temperature holding at 18 degrees Celsius. Humidity remains high at 85%, while a light southwest breeze drifts at 8 kilometers per hour. A near-average pressure pattern is beginning to fall, signaling the approach of a weaker trough that will nudge the ridge eastward after midnight. Overhead, the jet stream races westward at 144 kilometers per hour, funneling cooler air aloft and sharpening the pressure gradient. That gradient will push a gusty west wind up to 30 kilometers per hour through the early morning, giving the night a brisk feel. The UV index for the day registers 5, and no precipitation is expected. There are no active weather alerts, so residents can remain outdoors without concern. The next 5 days shift from lingering summer warmth toward a cooler, more unsettled pattern. Thursday brings a clear sky and a high of 24 degrees Celsius with a low of 13, as the ridge dominates the western flow. Friday repeats the same temperature range, but the jet stream begins to dip south, setting the stage for cloud development. Saturday sees the ridge retreat, allowing an overcast blanket and a high of 23 with a low of 15 as cooler air filters in. Sunday marks the active day, with overcast conditions and a 60% chance of rain. Temperatures climb to 25 while the low holds at 17, reflecting a warm advection surge. Monday returns to mainly clear skies, holding a high of 25 and a low of 17 as jet stream lifts north, stabilizing the atmosphere. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, traffic updates, a look at what's on today, and a quick recap of the Canadiens' off-season moves. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
The Canadiens are busy building their future, one move at a time. Montreal's front office is sending a clear message this off-season. Demidov and Dobies are part of the foundation. Locking up both on extensions tells you exactly where the Canadians see their core going. Meanwhile, Stéphane Richer says Cole Caulfield is born to score, hard to argue with a man who knows what a sniper looks like. The Canadians reshaped their prospect pipeline on July 27th, shipping Sean Farrell to Anaheim and bringing back Sasha Pastujov. Pastujov is a draft class younger than Farrell and comes off an impressive run with the U.S. National Team Development Program. Montreal is clearly prioritizing youth and upside at the AHL level. Vinzenz Rohrer is heading to Switzerland. The Canadians have loaned the young forward to EV Zug of the Swiss National League for the 2026-27 season. Rohrer is under a 3-year entry-level deal signed last June. A full season of professional European hockey is exactly the development path Montreal wants for him. A lot of roster decisions now, all of them point to next spring.
Thanks, Jason.
Welcome back. St. Anisette residents are gathering to voice concerns and ideas at a public consultation on municipal beach access, following the mayor's open letter on potential fees for non-local visitors. Camille Dowsett has the full story.
Residents are gathering on the sandy stretch of St. Anisette's municipal beach, tables set up with flyers, and a whiteboard where neighbors are jotting down questions. The mayor's open letter, posted on the town's website last week, called for a public consultation to decide whether visitors from outside the community should pay a fee. Community members are rehearsing concerns about maintaining free access for locals while covering upkeep costs, and some are proposing tiered pricing for weekend crowds. The municipal hall will host the meeting later this afternoon, giving locals a chance to shape the policy before any charges are set. Tension is low, but the conversation is lively as families watch the lake's waves roll in. Camille Dowsett, GMNA News, St. Anisette.
New Zealander Tom Hudson has finished a 2-year coast-to-coast canoe trek, arriving today in Montreal after paddling across lakes and rivers nationwide. Camille Dowsett has the full story.
After 2 years on the water, New Zealand native Tom Hudson finally pulled into Montreal's harbor on August 11th. He set off with nothing more than a purchased canoe and zero paddling experience, navigating a patchwork of lakes, rivers, and remote tributaries that stretched from the Pacific to the St. Lawrence. Along the way, he camped on riverbanks, dealt with sudden storms, and logged thousands of kilometers of paddle strokes, all without a support crew. His trek covered every province he crossed, turning a simple purchase into a coast-to-coast odyssey that ends here in Quebec's largest city. Hudson's arrival marks the conclusion of a journey that began in the spring of 2024. Camille Dowsett, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for tuning in tonight. That sand-filled Gilles Villeneuve circuit turned a racetrack into a beach volleyball arena. What a sight. We'll be back tomorrow with more local stories and a look at the new West Island Transit Hub. Stay curious, stay connected, and see you again.